The only reason to buy a 2021 iPad Pro is because it's very powerful, not because it's very useful. Let's take it from the top. In this video, we're gonna talk about whether or not you should buy an iPad Pro 2021 and which one you should go for, the big one or the small one. You may have noticed that I conveniently waited for WWDC 2021 before I actually review the new iPad Pros from Apple. And that's because we had very high hopes that iPadOS 15 will actually blow us away. The internet was ablaze with rumors that we might actually see things like Final Cut and Logic on Apple's tablets. And the facts seemed to align with that. We have the new Apple M1 chip powering the iPad Pro 2021, and it comes with either 8 or 16 gigs of RAM. This is literally desktop hardware in a tablet. Well, the WWDC announcements are now behind us and no Pro apps for the iPad Pro. Well, not Apple ones anyway. There are still third-party solutions which are pretty great, like LumaFusion, like VideoLeap, like Cubasis. We will get some much needed improvements to the multitasking workflow for sure, and the new quick notes in iPadOS 15 are great, but the iPad Pro is still in a weird spot. Let's talk about the good first. Look, the iPad Pros are the best tablets around. There is no arguing here. They are blazing fast, they have very robust app ecosystems, they are easy and intuitive yet powerful, they have amazing speakers and fantastic screens. Especially the new 12.9-inch iPad Pro. It's the only one that has the new mini LED screen. Apple calls it the Liquid Retina XDR, named after the Pro Display XDR launched last year. Is the iPad Pro 12.9 screen better than the one on the 11-inch? Yeah, a bit. It's brighter, it has deeper blacks, and the increased contrast makes it look sharper. The difference is small and we aren't really able to show it on camera. A trained eye will see it and appreciate it in real life. But I dare say that if you're hesitating between the 11-inch and the 12.9-inch, the XDR screen should not be the deciding factor. It's a nice bonus to have if you decide to go for the bigger one. So which one should you go for? Well, let me ask you this. How are you planning on using it? Because I can tell you that right now, the 12.9-inch is not a handheld device. See, I've been with the iPad Pro 11, the 2020 version, for a year now, and this is how I use it. I will set it down on a table, either as an assistant to my MacBook, or just to play YouTube or Netflix, or to do some light work directly on it. Then, when I need to move around, I just pick it up in one hand as I walk through the apartment and keep up with work chats or continue watching YouTube as I do my laundry, for example. The iPad Pro 12.9 is just too big and heavy for that. I mean, you can do it, but it's kind of clunky, it can't fit on shelves and counters as easily, and I was constantly afraid that I might drop it. On the flip side, very often, as I dig into a project with the 11-inch iPad Pro, like in GarageBand, VideoLeap or Lightroom, I find myself wishing it had a slightly bigger screen. So if you imagine yourself spending more time on a tablet as a workstation, on a desk, in your lab, then the 12.9-incher is a good choice. If you want a tablet that you can move around a lot, or to read books in bed without dropping it on your face, the 11-incher is the better candidate. Personally, I imagine that the 11-incher is what most people will feel comfortable with. After all, portability is one of the main reasons one shops for a tablet, right? Now let's try and answer the harder question. Do you actually need to buy an iPad Pro in the first place? It basically wants to be a productivity machine, but at the same time it tries very hard to pull punches and stay away from MacBook territory. I've been using this 12.9-inch iPad Pro for a couple of weeks now with the Magic Keyboard, and it feels amazing to write articles on it. At one point or another, I just need to pull out my laptop or sit on a desktop to finish the work. Doing simple stuff like resizing images to a certain resolution, organizing my files, or having my work projects in nicely cascading windows is not something that the iPad does. It's more of a broad strokes tool,
It shines best where you need to focus on one app, which takes up your entire screen, with the occasional second app in slide over or split view mode. The iPad Pro, or any contemporary iPad for that matter, is also the perfect assistant to your MacBook or your iMac. Right now we have Sidecar, which lets you turn the iPad into a second screen for your Mac wirelessly, but I rarely use that. However, I am excited for the new Universal Control feature, which is coming with macOS Monterey and iPadOS 15. Basically, you can use your Mac's keyboard and mouse to control the iPad and move files from one device to the other seamlessly. Very cool! But it just underlines my point, the iPad Pro is barely an autonomous device in its own right, it's just a wingman to your Mac. And therein lies the problem. An iPad Pro with a Magic Keyboard and an Apple Pencil costs as much as a full guns blazing MacBook Pro. Now, I can definitely see myself working with this. I have done so for the past 2 weeks and I love it. It's quick, it's snappy, the keyboard feels amazing. But I do have a desktop at home and a desktop at the office. I have this safety net that whenever I have something that I can't quite do on the iPad, or it's just a bit too convoluted on a tablet, I can just go, whoop, time to go to my desk and get this done. If that sounds like your situation, you can definitely pull it off. But if you need a mobile workstation which is dependable in every scenario and which can do all the things a desktop computer can do, then a laptop is still the better choice for you. We also feel, the collective internet also feels that the iPad Pros just have way too much power for what their software currently does. And I might get some flack for this one, but I don't feel like the new XDR screen on the 12.9 inch is that much big of a deal. Maybe if you're a pro photographer or an artist, but that's like a smaller niche, and these professionals were doing just fine with last year's tablets. So I'm kind of torn here. The 2021 iPad Pros are 30% faster than the 2020 ones, but last year's iPad Pros still work quite good. They're amazing, and you can get them at a lower price now. And hey, the bridge keyboards cost half of what the Magic Keyboard does, so you can also save some money there. Just saying, I'm gonna drop some links below. Thanks for checking out our review of the iPad Pro 2021. Leave a like if you learned something new, subscribe and hit the notifications to get our new videos straight into your feed. And I'll see you next time. Oh, also check out phonearena.com. Almost forgot, see ya!